You can't make this
Hello guys, and thank you so much for joining me after this long holiday weekend on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. So in this episode yesterday, we saw the Indiana Hoosiers win. We saw the Colts win all in one day. We're going to talk about all of that and more on this episode. Great day for the Colts. Great day for the Hoosiers. Great weekend for turkeys everywhere. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. All right, let's get into the video. But first, let's thank our sponsor, Reynolds Wrap. Reynolds Wrap, for 75 years, providing Americans with great aluminum foil that helps save you time in the kitchen. Use Reynolds Wrap to line sheet pans, make steamer bags for vegetables, and many more uses that you can find for this product. Reynolds Wrap, great everyday American aluminum foil. Find it in your local grocery aisle in the easy open containers. All right, let's get into talking about the Colts first. So we saw the Colts play Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday at Lucas Oil Stadium, and it was a good day for the Colts. I felt like the team my overall thoughts when the team got back out there after the bye week, they did look very fresh to start the game. I did like that. So I felt like they had a lot of good play calls, and they were just things seemed smoother a lot for Minshew. I think the week off really helped Minshew as much as it helped anybody on the Colts, because he just looked a little bit more fresh. And then Pittman as well. Pittman had an awesome game. Let's go over some of the stats in the Colts game and talk about some of the things that happened, because one thing I really do want to talk about is Shane Steichen's play calls. So there were two plays in this game. Shane Steichen on 2 4th down plays. The one to Mo Alley Cox, absolutely huge. Shane Steichen is getting it done for the Colts. We have not had a coach like that at Indianapolis, really, except for like the first couple years Frank Reich was there. He looked really good right at first. He just got fired. I just saw Frank Reich got fired just like about an hour ago. So tough 10-1 for Frank Reich, and gets fired again. But I'm rambling. Let's go back to our coach, Shane Steichen. Those play calls were absolutely brilliant. So he is calling some of the best games. Now, one thing I always think about these coaches, it's easier first year when people haven't seen as much film on you as a head coach. These things will get more difficult as time goes on. But overall, I thought the Colts played a really great game. The defense was a little bit subject. We will be getting Grover Stewart back, I believe, next week. Don't quote me on that because I haven't looked that up yet, but Grover Stewart will be coming back from his suspension. That will really help us in the run game. Julian Blackmon is playing really good for this defense. But some of the other players, now, one thing I haven't talked about on this channel yet, Shaq Leonard was at the game in a suite. What a class act. What a great guy, because he just got fired from the Colts. I didn't make a video about that, but it's something we've talked about on this channel. Shaq Leonard having the problems that he's been having, and he got fired from the team, but still showed up, was sitting in a suite, and actually the guy who replaced him was the guy who made that interception. That was huge. Yeah, because the Buccaneers a few times looked like they were starting to roll. Mayfield was maybe starting to break the pocket and run a little bit on the Colts when they were in some deeper zones. And Mayfield can really sling the ball down the field. There were a couple of drops. One I'm thinking of is like on a third or second 20 or something. It was like, but Mayfield was doing that, but the Colts were able to get that interception and some other big plays and just kind of like knock them back. So, I mean, just the flow of the game, there was a lot of scoring back and forth. So it was like 27-20, and then the Colts were able to get that final score and go ahead and win the game. But great game for the Colts yesterday. Good to see them. They're 6-5 now. I mean, and really after that win, and then as weak as the schedule we have coming up, it's going to be we're going to have a chance to get into the playoffs. But I'm going to watch more. I'm going to rewatch the game and do more of an analysis of like some play-by-play, like players, winners and losers, like who on the video tomorrow. So, and then we had Indiana beats Harvard at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Mackenzie Mbako finally breaks out and scores 18 points. Kalel Ware, Harvard did not have any big guys that could stop Ware on the inside, so Ware just dominated them on the inside, scored 28, Mbako with 18, and then Renew with like 20. Those guys were all in double figures. That's what Indiana needs. They need Renew, Mbako, and Ware to all be in double figures every game. Indiana still struggling from shooting on three-pointers. Pull the stats up here and just 4 of 15 on three-pointers for IU. That's not terrible, but they need to take more. I just would like to see them shoot at least 20 a game where a lot of these other teams were playing. I always look at these stat lines, and they're 9 of 26 on three-pointers. I mean, that's just 5 more points they scored because they made more three-pointers. Now, we were a lot more efficient than they were down low around the basket. So this is the one of the type of teams where Harvard doesn't have a big guy down low to stop Kalel Ware. So we shot 57% on field goals because we were dumping the ball in from short around the basket. Now that's going to work against Harvard. That might not work against Kansas. These other teams we're going to play, these high-level teams we're going to play coming up, are going to stop some of the inside play that were able to dominate some of these less effective teams. But defensive rebounds, 23 for Indiana and 17 for Harvard, and also offensive rebounds, 11 for Indiana and 9 for Harvard. Good to see Indiana out-rebound somebody for one time. So I don't know if the coach is telling them to block out, but this Indiana team is awful at the fundamentals. They just don't block out. They don't do a lot of like fundamental things. It drives me nuts. Like, let me tell you about this. If you watch women basketball players are so fundamentally great. That is one of the great things about women's basketball. I don't think they do a great job of advertising that is why women's basketball is fun to watch. I think sometimes like people who, and I don't want to really say this in a chauvinistic way, but it's, women have to do all the little things right. But when you get a guy like Mbako and he's 6'8" and he can jump and do all this stuff, and he's just been playing an AAU ball, like his fundamentals are just complete crap. Like you got to box out. I went on a little tangent there, but women's basketball, if you watch women's basketball, the fundamentals are so great. And when you watch these AAU guys, it's like there's like they've never been even taught to like a bounce pass or anything. I mean, with basketball. So just a little bit of my opinion on like kind of like IU and some of their player development and stuff like that. Like how it's a little bit more difficult than I think you would think it would be. You think like these guys would just be able to learn this stuff, but if you've not like trained or learned how to play basketball from a young age, it can be hard to have like a lot of words going into your brain when you're out there on the court. So, I mean, that's what we saw out of Mbako is he's starting to I saw some very aggressive play out of him. One great play he had on a rebound was like, he just like on this foul shot, he jumped into the lane and just skied over these guys and just grabbed the rebound out of the air. That was a great play by Mbako. We're going to see more of that out of him, just aggressive play. This guy is 6'8". I mean, he's really got a man's body for a freshman. Not many players like come into a team and kind of have the look that he does like right off the bat. This guy's just beefy all over. So good signs out of him. That's what we need to see. We needed to see that out of him before the calendar flipped over to December 1st because Big Ten play starts right now. So we got 2 games coming up against Big Ten opponents for the Hoosiers. But I do want to talk about great win for both the Hoosiers and the Colts. I do want to point this out. Dolly Parton singing "We are the champions" to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. That was absolutely hilarious. I mean, they have not won a Super Bowl since what, like 97? It's like, did Jerry Jones pay her to sing that song? I thought that was ridiculous. I thought I was cracking up when that was going on. But yeah, just tell me. But thank you so much for watching this video. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and has a great rest of your holiday. All the sports, these are some of the best months for sports when the basketball really starts to ramp up. IU's got some really great games coming up, and so do the Colts, and the Colts are right in the playoff picture. So it's as exciting as it possibly could be. So we got a lot of good stuff to look forward to. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, stay classy out there, Colts and Hoosier fans.